Hi, I'm Camron Humphreys from Humphreys Outdoor Power, and today we are here to take a look at the special edition Kubota RTV Sidekick. This is the 850. They've had the 850 before, but this is the special edition slate gray version of the Sidekick, and it's got some special features on it. We'll go over some of the features of the 850 in general and some of the features that this thing has that are different from the regular one. Let's dive in. So the 850 is one of Kubota's most popular RTVs. The reason for that all comes down to speed. This is the only RTV built by Kubota that will do 40 miles per hour. It's powered by an 851cc gasoline engine, hence the name RTV 850. This 851cc engine is putting out 48 horsepower, which is enough to carry you all the way up to that 40 miles per hour target. It's got a CVT transmission, which allows it to get up to those faster speeds. It's not as smooth as the regular hydrostat transmissions we see in all the diesel RTVs and the Kubota tractors, but it will get you that top-end speed that you're looking for without sacrificing much capacity for payload and towing. So when we talk about towing capacity, we're talking about 2,000 pounds. Payload capacity is right at 1,400 pounds. So that's the stuff in the bed, but towing on a flat surface, you're gonna get right at 2,000 pounds towing. So this thing has maximum performance and speed, which is what sets it apart from the rest of the Kubota RTV lineup. The dimensions on this thing are 120 inches long, 79 inches high, up to the top of the roll bar. This one will be a little bit higher because it has the top on it standard, and then 63 inches wide. It has independent front and rear suspension, which makes it good on trails. It's got 9.8 inches of ground clearance, which makes this thing capable of going just about anywhere. These machines typically come in your standard orange and camo. We've also got the desert tan this year, and then we've had in the past some special edition black ones. This one, the special edition for this year, is slate gray. Now we need to dive into some of the things that set this slate gray machine apart from those regular machines that we've seen. Up to now, everything I've covered is just kind of universal for the 850 in general, but this guy's a little different, and we're gonna get into how and why and what it means to you and why you might want one. Let's dive in. So we're going to start at the front of the machine here. As you can see, it comes standard with a worn winch. This is the 45-S. I believe that is 4,500 pounds of winch capacity. So that's going to come standard on the machine. You don't have to add that on. As we move up, it's got upgraded LED headlights. Now all of them have LEDs, but these are upgraded LEDs, super bright. They are awesome. We're going to get the Glass Windshield standard. This is glass, so it won't scratch as bad. A lot of people ask what type of windshield we typically recommend. We try to stick away from the poly windshields as much as we can, just because they tend to scratch if you're in the woods, and you can't really buff those out or anything, whereas glass tend to be a little bit more resilient to a lot of that scratching. So we almost always, on any RTV you buy from us, if you're not changing it out yourself or requesting us to do so, you're going to get a glass windshield, but Kubota went ahead and put that glass windshield on this for us on this machine. As you can see on the sides of this guy, we do have these rear view mirrors. We've also got an interior rear view mirror, which we'll look at in a second. And then up here at the top, we have a light bar. And that is sitting on top of a roof, which again is standard on this machine, but is not necessarily standard on all machines. Keep in mind as we're looking at all of these add-ons that come with this machine, we can add any of these to a new 850 unit if you don't like this slate color for any reason, although I think that it is looking really good with that slate gray. I'm excited. I like it whenever they're playing around with some different colors and giving us a few more options. But to my earlier point, any of the options that you see on this machine, we can put on a regular 850 that's not a special edition. Before we dive in and take a look at the controls on this thing, I wanted to take a second and appreciate these rear view mirrors. A lot of people want rear view mirrors, and I think these are probably the best ones to add. So they kind of jet out to the side. You've got two different views here, so you can angle those to where you can get a few different looks behind you. As you can see, I'm moving this thing around, so you can tighten it down to where it doesn't do that. But what I like about it is if we hit something, it's just gonna fold back in, right? So a lot of these get taken into the woods, you've got tight spaces, it's not just gonna rip your mirror off if you were to bump into something. And I really like that. all of these 850s come with side doors, and a lot of people ask how to get in. There's a handle right here that you just pull up. So you just reach over the top, pull that up, and then you can open it. Kind of sticking with some of the things that all 850s have along with the side doors, glove box, storage underneath the seat, and then a storage compartment right here as well. All right, so we're here in the driver's seat now, kind of just looking at the layout of the machine. Just mentioned that glove box. But now we're going to take a look at some of the features it's got from the inside. So again, we'll kind of go through these one by one and show what comes standard on a usual machine, what you can upgrade, and what comes standard on this machine. So we'll start just with the dash here, because it's one of the, all of this stuff will be the same. It gives you a dash with your speed, currently in high, now we want to be in neutral, fuel gauge, temperature gauge, and then you've got your hour meter up there at the top. You've got all your lights. This thing is not equipped with turn signals right now, but if you did, you would have those right there. That is something that a lot of people add on. Probably the most common add-on is turn signals, to be honest. And then you've got your regular warning lights, seat belt, battery, parking brake, all that kind of stuff. One of the things you get with this guy is the rear view mirror. So that's really nice. A lot of people add those. It's a little bit better than your average. Again, you've got a lot of ability to adjust this guy as you're going along. And then one of the other features that is not standard on this machine is this guy up here, which is the multi-unit panel. So this is going to turn on your light bar up top, and then these would be open for any other accessories you might want to add. We've got our horn right here. If we look at our range there, we've got low, high, neutral, and reverse. Again, a CVT transmission. We've got tilt wheel option right here, so we can adjust our wheel. Now, as we move over to this side, we're going to start to see a few different buttons that you're not going to see standard. So this does not come standard. This is your electric dump bed for this machine. So we can add that to any 850, but it is coming standard on this special edition one. So all we have to do is hit that up and it will dump our bed. This guy is our lights, and then this guy is running our winch. Now we also have that plug-in down here, which will allow our winch to be operated with a remote control that we currently have in the glove box. So you can operate that winch from a safe distance behind in case that were to snap, keep you a little bit safer. As we look at the pedals on the floor, throttle, gas, brake, and then down here we have a differential lock. So we can hit that with our heel, like so. And then we also have this hold, whereas we're pushing that down with our foot, we can now take our foot off and it's still down, but it's now locked up. So, and then all we have to do is shove that back down, and then we're good to go. And then your parking brake over to the side like normal. Now you do have your bumper here to keep you in place with this being extra speed. You've also got the headrests. Now the headrests I don't believe are standard equipment, but they are on this machine. So again, something you could add. This, if nothing else, is a good look at some of the options you could put on a regular 850. It has the premium roof, which is equipped to install a stereo, though this one does not have a stereo in it, but it is plastic, which is typically the one we would put on here, again, as standard equipment. Now this machine will not reach top speed unless you've got the seatbelt on. You can putt around at about 5 miles per hour, but you can't go any faster than that unless you have the seatbelt actually on. So while we were inside, I mentioned that extra button, which is going to be the electric dump bed. This isn't a common thing that we install on a lot of these. Most people are fine with just picking that up and dumping it themselves, but it is something a lot of people ask about. So I thought while we had an 850 in here that had it on its standard, we could take a look at how that works. So I'm just going to reach in there, I'm going to hit the button to dump that, just like you saw me do on the inside, and we'll see how quickly that thing dumps. So you can see it's not the fastest in the world, but hey, we're not manually dumping it, which is awesome. The diesels are definitely faster, but this is how we would get access then to that gas engine that we talked about, the 2-cylinder 851cc gas engine that's trickling out 48 horsepower. We'll go ahead and get a look at what all that looks like. I'm not going to dive into all of the maintenance things. I mean, I guess you can already see that most of the stuff, as always, is easy to get to. That side has your air filter and your fuel. Anything you need, as always, is easy to get to. But again, I think the thing that's probably the coolest that comes on this special edition that we don't usually see is going to be that electric dump. And that's how that works. And as you can see, I'm just hitting the button here. So I'm doing all of that just with the button. It should also be noted, I don't technically have to have the engine running to dump that. I can do it all as long as I have the key on. I just don't generally like to do that because I have a nasty habit of leaving the key on, as I'm sure everyone else does as well. I bet there are like 2% of the population that remembers to turn the key off every time after they do something like that. But we're gonna go ahead and do it right now. Now, it should be noted that these things are gonna be kind of hard to get. I think dealerships only were able to order one per dealership. So these aren't going to be super readily available. If you're in love with this gray and you find one, you need to buy one at wherever you can find it. If you just want the options, as I keep saying, we can add all of these options to a regular orange, camo, or tan 850. So if nothing else, take a look at this thing for the options that Kubota has deemed the most necessary and the ones that customers seem to gravitate to the most. And use that as a starting point if you want to build out your own 850. One of the other cool things are these alloy wheels. They look a lot different from the standard steel wheel that we would typically see. Again, you can upgrade these on your regular 850, but they do come standard on this special edition slate gray 850. So this has been our overview of the special edition Kubota 850, the slate gray version. Some of the features that it's got with it, they're awesome. Even something as small as the headrest, the mirrors, they just went ahead and did a lot of the thinking for us. I know a lot of customers from experience get a lot of paralysis whenever we start talking about options you can put on these. And Kubota takes a lot of those options and go ahead and put some of the more popular ones on there as standard equipment for this special edition. There also aren't a lot of good resources to see a lot of the options on the machine. A lot of places don't keep them in stock all the time. So with this, we're able to see the breakaway mirrors, the headrest, what the winch looks like when it's mounted, again, the operation of that electric bed. All of these things you can add to your regular 850 and many, many more. That's one of the coolest things about the 850 is its modularity and how you can kind of customize it. You can build an entire cab out if you so choose with a heater in it. You can get different windshields, you can get different tops. A lot of options, and you can truly make it your own, which makes this one of the more popular RTVs that Kubota offers. This has been our recap of the new 850. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and leave a comment if you have any questions about this machine or if you have any suggestions for future videos that you might want to see. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Have a great day.